Hey, welcome to the Geriatric Millennials. This is Jayme.
And this is Beth.
And we are two oldish, youngish ladies recording our 200th episode of this podcast.
Yes.
That is
amazing.
Amazing. 200 episodes?
200
Beth?
episodes.
What the heck?
Well, also, this episode happens to ram right up against our 4-year anniversary.
That's
4 years.
I can hardly believe that. It's been we have been so consistent.
I know. I was shooketh. Really, I've looked back and we've only missed posting 1 week in 4 years. We've posted every single week for 4 years. That's crazy.
It's really
so people might be doing
the
math on that. Hey, that math doesn't work. We did have some bonus episodes. We just had some other little things too. But this is our official 200th episode, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. What's weird too is having a podcast, it's always interesting because podcasts are not, you're not doing it for the success necessarily, for the glamour, for the fame.
So far for us, not yet.
But I mean, for most people, most podcasts never get as big as a Call Her Daddy or, the big name podcast. That just doesn't happen.
I don't even know what that is.
That's fine. But there's huge podcasts out there and it's amazing and whatever. And then there's a lot of just smaller podcasts. And then there's a lot of podcasts that just kind of go under the radar. But then there's the other tier of podcasts where, you're looking up some kind of niche topic and you find a great podcast and you realize they only did 7 episodes and they stopped 4 years ago, or 5 years ago. And, there's just a whole bunch of dead podcasts out there. And I think one of the coolest things is I think they say you're in the top 1% of podcasts if you last more than 3 episodes in this many years.
And I'm like,
we've made it, everybody.
We've lasted a lot longer than a lot of podcasts,
which is crazy.
Well, because it's fun.
Yes, it's just two friends having fun.
Exactly. And I have gotten to know you so much better.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been able to see you so much more often.
Yes.
Had we not been doing this podcast, I mean, I can't even think about what that would have been like.
Yeah. It opened up a lot of doors for us to just have really deep conversations because, sorry, we don't share everything on the podcast. And, we spend a lot of time together just talking. And I love that, And then we've been friends now for almost 20 years, which is wild.
I think it's been more than that.
Really?
Yes, because I am coming up to my 22nd wedding anniversary. And I feel like I met you very soon after I got married, if not before.
You were already married when I met you.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I was newly married.
Every time I think of it, I just remember walking into a house and you were sitting on a couch reading your Bible. I
still don't even believe you.
Yeah, you're just sitting curled up on the couch.
I don't even believe you.
Maybe it wasn't a Bible. I thought it was a Bible.
It could have been.
Yeah, but it was a book you were reading for sure. And it was just I'm Jayme,
Jay-Z.
Like Jay-Z. And it's just that always stuck with me.
It did, which is so funny. I hear things about my past that I've said and
You're like, what?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
So thank you for having a great memory.
Yeah. No, it was, I felt like it was a turning point in my life because we become such great friends.
For sure.
And it's neat because again, through the podcast, it's just kept us more connected, but it's been so nice having you back in town and the fact that we live so close and our lives are more, not enmeshed obviously, but just they're more interwoven with each other.
Yeah.
It's just been really nice. Yeah.
It has.
Yeah. And podcasting's been a huge part of that. And
absolutely. Well, we talked about it for a while before we actually
talked about
did
it for a long time.
Yeah. And then we're just we just need to do it. We just need to start, even though we don't know what we're doing or how or whatever. And if you go back and listen to Lick the Spoon, which is what we were called in the beginning, because we didn't, we just wanted to start and we thought, well, that's kind of catchy, I guess.
Yep.
We got asked if it was about cooking or anything, which it was not.
No, not even close. licking the spoon of life, people.
Yeah. So anyway,
it is funny to go back and listen to I haven't listened to the early episodes for a long time, but when I did, it's so different. The quality is so different. We would just come in and we would just start recording without thinking about anything, remember? And we kind of would have especially the first few episodes, we tried to batch them in a way that was nonsensical because basically we just would record for an hour or two and then I would have to just try and cut what we recorded into multiple episodes, which does not work.
No.
It was wild.
Yeah. Well, you have become an incredibly good editor And
that's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing. I mean, we definitely would not have this podcast if it wasn't for your dedication to all the behind the scenes work.
It's been very fun. Yeah. I have to say, like, out of all of the hobbies that I have, this has been one of the most fun to like get into, and such a good learning curve. Like, we're always learning about podcasting and like, what does it mean to be a podcaster? And, you know, thinking about like, how do we engage and how do we, like, what stories do we have to tell? And, you know, I'm always like, we're going to run out. I'm like, no, we got a lot of life left to live in these middle years.
I do feel like some of the cringe episodes are some of my favorite ones. And in some ways, I'm just like, because I have such a hard time remembering my cringe and like going, like pulling it. I know there's more in there, of course, but some of those stories were so good.
Oh my gosh.
That I want to just like, I should have spread them out more or something, you know?
Yeah.
Because I got to go back. It's been a long time since I've listened to those original cringe ones, but dang.
There's some stuff. There's some stuff. It's interesting too, because I always think it's fun when I have friends that listen to our podcast or people we know. And it's like, it's funny because it gives a false sense of hanging out sometimes. Yeah. Because I have friends that are like, I know what's going on with you, but I haven't talked to you in like 3 months. I'm like, I know, it's so weird. Yeah. But it makes for fun conversations. And I think it's always interesting to hear like that your friends are listening, or like people you don't even know are listening to the podcast. I always think it's wild. Like, we'll look at our stats sometimes, and you know, we're not a big podcast, but like we've had people in almost every country listen to our podcast,
which is amazing. I really want to know who you are. I want to know who you are, who's listening in these countries. Like, where was we had one
everywhere,
all over.
But it's
world.
just like all of a sudden, like in Denmark, somebody was downloading a bunch of episodes. They're like, "What is happening? How did you find us?
Who are you? Say
What's
hi."
Going on? Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It's just so fascinating how far-reaching your stories can go without you even knowing. Yeah. You know, and how far-reaching like the things you're sharing can just fly. I don't know. It's just wild.
Well, we are going to take our podcast to the next level, so to speak, because we're going to go to a podcast conference. I'm saying this because we're going to do this.
It'll keep us accountable. Yeah, I'm excited. I think it just will open up some new just avenues of just like new ways of thinking about podcasting. Yeah. You know, I think that's for anything though, you know, kind of you get into your groove, you get into what you do, you get a little siloed, and then you're like, you forget there's like so much more out there. So it's always good to have exposure. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think podcasting is so fun. I know that it can get a bad rap at times, and like everybody has a podcast kind of mentality, but I think that's really cool that everybody can have a podcast. You know, everybody can have a voice if they want to, because you can literally do a podcast on your phone. It does not have to be, it can be no thrills, no whatever. You can get into podcasting for $0.99. Actually, that would cost something, but $0, you know? So I don't know. I think it's just really it's been a really fun outlet for me, especially after transitioning out of ministry, because I used to just get to have a live podcast with students.
Well, you'd have an audience.
Yeah. And could just talk and do all my stories and stuff. And not having that was kind of weird. And so I love being able to just come and share, and I don't know.
I love it too.
Yeah. There's just so much to it. So many layers to a podcast. Also, like 200 episodes is so many episodes. Like, think about if you saw it, like 200 episodes of a TV show used to be the marker for like a show that would go into syndication and be successful for years, like The Office.
I'm going to claim
Friends,
that for
stuff
us.
Like that.
Let's do this.
Yeah. So I just think it's really cool. Like,
we're on our way, Beth.
Sure. Yes. I also think it's interesting when you see other podcasts and you're like, how are you at so many episodes? And they record like twice a day or something. You're like, oh my gosh. I mean, obviously it's easier if it's your full-time job, but there's just so many like interesting podcasts out there. Yeah. And I'm glad to be amongst them, you know?
You know what I would really like to find? I'd really like to find a good Spanish podcast for intermediate Spanish, because the Duolingo podcast used to have episodes, and just like they haven't posted for years. And so I'll re-listen to sometimes, but I just haven't been able to find a good one. Mm-hmm. So if anyone has a recommendation,
share it in the DMs, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. And share us. If you like our podcast, please share our podcast with people.
Just share a link to your best friend. Yes. Just somebody you think would enjoy it.
And leave us a review, but only if it's 5 stars.
Oh my gosh, no. You can leave any review.
No, it has to be 5 stars.
Okay. No, we want all the input. But yeah, I think
not in the reviews, Beth. I'm serious. you can send us a message if you have any like suggestions or feedback that's like negative. But if you're going to leave us a review, please only leave 5 stars.
Jayme. I think it's good because, we have gotten non 5-star reviews before. And I always think it's interesting because it's like, you're reaching out to someone that doesn't know you and has an opinion.
I actually haven't even read our reviews.
So here's the thing about reviews. All of the, like, you can leave either star reviews or you can write a review. The most important ones are the written reviews, honestly. And those really are the ones that like have the most impact. And so we've gotten some good ones and that's great. But not everything is for everyone and that's okay too.
Right.
I also think it's just interesting, like that people have that big of an opinion that to leave something either way. It's like, okay, like, all right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So all that to say, it does help our podcast grow. And we would like to grow.
Yes,
we would.
Absolutely.
We still want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
And so as long as people keep listening, like we want to keep making episodes. So
yeah. And it is wild when you think about like we have more listeners than we have friends that we know listen to the podcast. So we're like, there are strangers out there that have heard us.
Oh, for sure. Most of my friends don't listen.
Yeah. Like none of my family listens. None of my friends really, I mean, I won't say that. I do have some friends that are listening right now. So thank you. Big shout out. Always have been very supportive of the show and, fangirled for us, which is lovely. But it is weird when you're just like, oh yeah, this person doesn't know us. I like it too when people start following us on Instagram, because I've had people reach out on my personal, because I'm private and I know they're from the podcast world. And like now we're following each other and I'm like, that's so it's very cool.
Yeah.
It's just fun. Yeah. I mean, I think ideally for me, the podcast, we would just keep it going and we would just keep growing. And in my heart of heart fantasies is that we would be a little bit more active on our social media and have a little bit more influencer stuff in the sense of being able to share more of like what we love and what we're into with people, because I think we both have great taste and great recommendations. And I love to send a link. I mean, I love to send a link out and be like, hey, you got to try this thing. So I
appreciate that.
Yeah. So. I've gotten so many good tips and tricks from this podcast just listening to you. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try this out. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm kind of excited for like what this next season of podcasting brings. I don't know what it's going to look like.
We're going to this conference at the beginning of the year. And then I feel like we're going to get some momentum from that. And also just continuing sharing just our everyday lives. Like, and, updates on Mittens the cat, updates on what we're into, like just all of that.
Sharing
it's just
cringe.
Fun. It's just ongoing sharing cringe. Oh my gosh.
I still love cringe so much, but it's just ongoing. And I just think it's interesting too. Like, I think it'll be fun to go back and listen to some of those early podcasts to see how much we've changed in the last few years. Because when we started the podcast, we were just coming out of the pandemic.
I feel like we were still in it, weren't we?
We were technically coming out of it. Like the vaccines were out, like people were gathering more, but people were still being cautious, but we weren't to the point where we were still masking. Because when we first started the podcast, we went to that restaurant and they still had the like partitions up where they do like the plexiglass and you'd wear a mask in and out, but not the whole time.
Yeah.
So like we were in it, but we weren't like, it wasn't the like the terrifying times. But yeah, it was just like so different. Like in that time, like, I don't know, you've moved, I've moved.
Yep.
Like friendships have changed, people have grown, job changes. Like, I don't think you were dancing at that time.
Mm-mm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like just so many different things have shifted and changed. I think I've gotten 2 cats since we started, So it's just like, it's just all these things,
Life
has been lifing. And I think the fun thing about the podcast is that I love the fact that we talk about the minutia of life, the mundane. I always thought of our podcast as a great way. I still utilize it for this. Like, I will throw our podcast on when I want to do laundry, when I want to get through like a task or something, because it's like that perfect background soundtrack to just kind of get you through the thing, make you giggle a little bit, and then you keep it moving.
Yeah,
it's not a lot of drama. It's not a lot. You don't have to think. I'm not learning something that I have to like ponder and, sit on and all this stuff.
We're not like a self-help podcast.
No, and we're not a political podcast. We're not. We're not.
We do have opinions though.
We have opinions.
I do feel like we might share a little bit more of things that are a little bit deep, but we do that here and there anyways.
Yeah.
Like we when we're going through stuff or
we bring it up, but it's not our focus, which is nice. Cause I have some podcasts that I listen to that they're much heavier and I really like them, but I can't have that content all the time, especially right now. I want something that just like makes me think I'm sitting with my bestie. And that's what I think our podcast is. And I love that for us, you know, and I think that is really beautiful to sit in those spaces where we're just talking about everyday life. So I have a question for you. What have been some of your favorite podcast moments?
Oh my gosh.
Whether either an episode or just recording, like what are some of your favorite things about podcasting?
Well, I love saving a story for you.
Yes.
And there have been some times where we get together and we start talking. We're like, wait, we have to stop.
Yes.
We need to start recording so that we don't have to like repeat it.
Yeah. And have our real reactions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's been really fun for me. And I love it when we're going to, we're going to start talking and I know you've got a story for me. Yes. Oh my gosh, the anticipation. Yes. I love it so much.
That is so fun. I think that is one of the funniest times of when we're both like, nope, don't say anything else. Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. I think I love most about what we're doing is I do like our deeper episodes. Like when I really liked our episode when we talked about our dads. I thought that was a really special moment, even though it was a really hard time. I've loved our like purity culture episodes because it's like some of that stuff is it's such a unique experience to yourself, but it's not a unique experience in the world. And it's so nice to share with someone else, be like, oh my gosh, like I went through this thing and you went through it in a similar way.
Yeah.
And having those like cross conversations about it has been really helpful for me because like not everybody was raised in purity culture.
No, I know.
Not everybody's lost a parent.
Right.
And it's just having that experience and being able to share openly about it with someone that kind of gets it is huge.
I agree. I was going to tell you, I read this book recently that was written by somebody I've followed for years, and she's written lots of books, but she talks about purity culture in her book in such a way that was like, oh my gosh, like I want to share that with you because it was so well written and it was so well laid out and explained, and it just like put it into words, the experience that is sometimes hard to describe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was really well done. So anyway,
perfect.
The book is called Awake. It's by Jen Hatmaker. But
this is why I love, because then I have a new book to read, you know, like I love that. And I feel like community feels a little harder right now. Like it feels harder to like build relationships with people for whatever reason. You know, moving into this neighborhood, it made me reflect on growing up in a neighborhood where you knew your neighbors and you guys did like holiday parties and block parties and people just knew each other differently. And I feel like that doesn't happen quite as organically anymore. And the older I get, the harder I realize it is to like make new friends. Like anytime I make a new friend, it's like shocking. Yeah. And to just have those organic relationships come up, I think is really precious. And I think that that's something I like about this podcast is that we keep getting to like grow with each other, but we've grown in our community, you know, like we've met people through the podcast. And I think that that's really special and it makes me really happy.
Same.
Yeah, I just want more of that. Like, I'm really hoping that we get to engage in really interesting and new ways this year with like people that are like our podcast and want to like have conversations with us out in the real world. And I'm wondering what that will look like. I also am recognizing that I only have so much bandwidth as a mid-aged person now. And it makes me sad that I can't just like go like nonstop for 12 hours at a time anymore. But it makes everything else just a little bit more special.
Right. Well, if you do that, then you just have to recover so much longer.
So much longer. It's like not even funny. There's been some times I usually when we record the podcast, just for transparency, we record a few episodes at a time and we do it typically, you know, in the late afternoon.
We'll batch. Yeah.
We batch it together.
Yeah.
There have been times that we would try to record at nighttime and Jayme would come over at like 7 and we record from like 7 to 9. Death.
No, we can't do it.
We can't do it anymore. It was.
You know what that reminds me of?
The time you fell asleep.
Yes.
You'd been out dancing.
I was so tired. I literally fell asleep.
Yes.
I've never done that before in my life when somebody's talking to me. And it happened while we were
recording the podcast.
Ridiculous.
I'm mid-story and Jayme just completely dozes off. I'll have to go back and see if I can find it. It was a couple years ago.
So sorry.
It was so funny.
I'll never forget it.
It was so funny. I mean, I literally had to shove candy in your mouth to get you
I needed a little pick-me-up.
It was amazing.
To find some hard candy.
It was so amazing. One of the funny things too is like we've tried a lot of different things on the podcast. Some of it has failed miserably and things I was really excited about. Like I really wanted to do vintage, like Dear Abby, like questions where we would like look at like, you know, like people like, I have a problem with my boyfriend, like these questions that, you know, from teen magazines and stuff from like the 60s, 70s, 80s and on. And we tried and it just didn't come to fruition. I was like so bummed. Like there's been a couple things I'm like, I wish this was become a series. And then it's like, yeah, it didn't work, which I think is part of the beauty of something like this is the trial and error of it.
For sure.
Where it's just like, oh, we tried this and this failed miserably. And like, oh, nobody wanted to listen to that. Or we try one thing, you know, like the cringe purge, the first time we did it, I thought it was going to kind of be like cringe, like literal cringe. Like nobody wants to listen to this. And then those are usually our most popular episodes. So it's just, it's funny to see like what, you know, like what resonates with people and what resonates with us, you know. So, you know, we come up with ideas and, you know, some of them are doozies and some of them are just like, well, that was a good effort.
Yeah. It's always a good effort.
It's always a good effort. So I know, I think that's a fun part of podcasting too, is that, you know, just trying things out and being creative. I think the creative aspect is really fun.
For sure.
You know, it's, again, go back and listen to the first 2 episodes. You're like, oh, these girls have come a long way. So anyway, so we just want to say thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for listening.
Yeah. Thank you for like using your precious time and bandwidth to like have us in your ear. Mm-hmm. We want to say thank you for like liking our posts, for following us on Instagram and TikTok, even though we know we are dreadfully bad at posting.
I know.
That is one of our goals, is to be more communicative and be more community oriented. We're just trying to figure out how that looks. Yeah, and how that looks for us. That's authentic to us, because neither one of us are big posters and we're not very much.
I am in my head.
I know, but
we're not in reality. Because then I start using the whatever, Instagram or whatever. And then I'm like, crap, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. Or Beth's not going to like this, or she's not, you know, like I'm not going to make it look good or whatever. And then I'm just like, oh, this takes too long. It takes too long. It's too much effort.
Also too, it's just like, I think it's, for me, I think people do a really good job of living their authentic life and using social media. That is not how I live my life. Yeah. I don't live my life like taking pictures in that same way of like to be able to share. Like a lot of the pictures I do take are for my own like memory, and they're not like aesthetic in a way. Yeah. So I think it's always interesting too, to like, how do you come across authentically in social media in the way you want to live, that people want to see, that's not just like, ma'am, these are blurry pictures of your cat. Right. Nobody wants to see that. So anyway, all that to say thank you. Thank you for listening to all of our shenanigans. Yeah. And there's going to be more. There's much more to come.
For sure.
So congratulations on 4 years.
Yeah.
And 200 episodes. If you're enjoying the podcast and would like to support the show, you can share episodes with your friends and family, follow us on Instagram at the Geriatric Millennials, or leave us a positive review and rating, all which help us to grow. Our theme music was created by the Finley Ghost. Check out their latest album now. Thank you so much.